I'll start sharing my screen here. All right. You guys can see the screen, right? Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. So welcome, everyone. I'm Zavaar Shah. This is our first project of the year. So how we're going to kind of structure this project before we get into like the nitty gritty of what we're actually doing. Every meet, we're going to try to accomplish an objective, do some sort of task, try to complete it. So the objective for today is try to get started on the website. Because what we're building is we're building a website from scratch, just using HTML and CSS. If you're not familiar, those are just markup languages. They're very simple, and we'll learn them together. But we're going to build a website from scratch, and eventually near the end, we're going to connect it the website, give the website some functionality with some backend stuff. So what backend and front end, I'll explain quickly here. A front end is what the user interacts with. So I have this picture that I was just looking earlier for. So front end is pretty much like the user interface, like your website. So like the front end of this website right here, if I just go on Google and search something up, you can see that the tangible, I'm actually able to click things. That is the front end. The back end is it's harder to visualize, but pretty much you can check kind of how the backend works. If I were to just go here, you can see there are some backend requests that get sent to a server that you don't get to see, but the front end renders. I know that's kind of confusing, but we're going to actually build this integration later on, so I'm not going to talk about it too much right now. So essentially, what we're going to start off with is let's see. So yeah, that's the user interface. The backend, again, it's a server. It's harder to visualize just because there's nothing tangible you get to click on. Last year I had a full stack what's it called, a full stack REST API workshop, and we essentially built a backend only, and it was pretty interesting. If you guys want to check that out, I can forward that later. But anyways, let's get started on the code. Any questions? I guess we should start off with what we kind of need. So we need a code editor. So to make a code editor, or to get a code editor, in case you do not have one, I highly recommend VS Code, Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code. You just go to this website here. I can put it in the chat. Yeah, here. And you can download that. It's what I use. I've been using it for as long as I can remember. Highly recommend it. And we're going to be building a website within this environment. Some other things we need. I'm gonna fly through some of the syntax here, especially when we get to JavaScript, because I'm hoping if you don't have a good foundation on JavaScript, it's fine. I'll try to explain the syntax to the best of my ability, but it would be helpful if it would help you in the long run if you had a good understanding of JavaScript, because we're going to be using promises, which are relatively confusing, but I'll try to explain it. So I'm going to start off with well, first of all, getting ahead of myself. Any questions? Please speak up. Any questions? You know, there's still people joining. We just, for people who just joined, we just kind of explain what we're doing. We're going to build the website first. And to do that, we're going to be building it in Visual Studio environment. Please download if you need to. So if there are no questions, I'm going to just continue. So what we need is, first of all, I'm gonna create a new folder anywhere you want. I'm just gonna call this website, and in here we're gonna open up Visual Studio Code. So I'm not sure how it works on Mac, but if you install Visual Studio Code, you should have a thing here that says like open in Visual Studio Code. I have a very old version and I never installed it that way, so I can just press this. But in case you don't know how to do that, I'll just do it from scratch. I'll open this up. Hopefully I have nothing open from last time. Let me close out all this stuff. Give me 1 second. I really don't know why it kept all this open, but all right. So this is like the home page when you open up Visual Studio Code. This is how it is. So what to open up the folder that we just made, this is where it's located. So users, my user desktop website, that's just where I made the folder. So I'm just gonna open the folder there. So I know where I made this. I made this in my desktop. There it is, website. I'll open this. The reason we open it is so now we can easily create files. Though you don't need to, it's just a lot nicer. So I'm gonna press this button. I'll zoom in my thing here. I'll use this button right here. It says new file. I'm going to create a index.html. It's very important you call it .html. It's called index because that's the convention. That's like your home page. When you eventually deploy this website to some sort of web server, the web server looks for anything index dot whatever, and if you're in the root of that directory, it'll automatically serve this file right here. If that doesn't make sense, you're going to see later on. So to start off writing HTML, there's this thing called the HTML shell. So this is just boilerplate code, which is proprietary code. You need it every time you start index or any sort of HTML file. So you need an HTML tag. That's first. And it's just like open arrow, kind of just like this, or I guess greater than less than symbol HTML. And then to close it off, you have a it's HTML, and then my IDE does it, or my code editor does it automatically, but it's just a slash there, and then HTML, and then anything in between these tags is what you're going to eventually render. So again, we have to follow the conventions. So there's a head tag in each HTML, and this is where we house metadata and other important information. So I'll give one property here, title. That's going to be the title of the website. I'm going to call this like my website or something. And yeah, it should, when I open this up, which I can do right here. So to open up the like your website, see what it looks like, I can just right click, open with, and I'll open it with, let's see, I'll just use Chrome, I guess. And you can see it's nothing. Obviously, because we haven't done anything yet. You can see the title here. It says my website. If I change this to something else, it will reflect those changes. So that's how the title works. We need a body tag now, and inside the body tag is what actually gets rendered on the HTML canvas, which is right here. So if I were to say like hi, you'll see that. Let's see if I could do this a lot better. Where'd it go? That was weird. Okay, let's just do that. Yeah, but you can see that hi shows up there, and it's basic stuff. If you don't understand, this is just boilerplate code. This is boilerplate means like proprietary. You don't really like, you need it. It's important to have it, and then you could start off of there. If I were to show, I think it's called HTML shell. What is it? Yeah, I think this is it. It's like, yeah, this is like a very basic example, but you can see that they have the HTML tag. They have a couple of metadata tags, but that's fine. You can see they have the body tag, which is most important. And it's called the HTML skeleton. It's what you need to start off writing your HTML code. So that's pretty nice. So we start off with hi. Let me see, we're starting to design it. So I'm going to create a new file here. I'm going to give this website some style. And 1 second, I have I pre-wrote some styling code. I just have to find it. Give me 1 second here. It's probably going to be on this folder. I don't remember it from heart, but let's see here. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So to create what's it called? To create like a style file, I guess. So what is style? If you don't know, it's the CSS. So CSS is cascading style sheet. It's what we use to style our HTML files. because right now this looks very blank. There's like nothing going on, and that back, but you can see it's very boring text. It's default, nothing's going on here, and it's also static, which is not what we're trying to do, but the dynamic part will come in later. So to create a style, or to style our website, there's multiple ways of doing it. You could have a style tag, and you could directly embed it into your head tag. And so if I want to give my website like a background, or like a background color instead of like boring white, I'm gonna do body and then curly braces, open up like that. So it'd just be like you're in the style between it must be between the style tag. Anything between the style tag that we just wrote is it gets rendered, or it gets compiled, I guess, as CSS codes, and CSS code follows a very strict syntax, and so it's just kind of like this. Like if I want anything related to body, I'm going to open up curly braces, and just like that. And remember, body is referring to this element. You can see it's the same color to signifying that it is styling anything between here. So I want to give a background color attribute, and let's make it black. I don't want to burn my eyes anymore. And you can see this gets a little problematic because now we have text here. Yeah, you see, obviously, now we have a black background, but now our text is kind of disappeared because the contrast, there is no contrast. So we need to make our color white. And what color is it's text color. By default, that's what it means. It says it right here. It sets the color of an element's text. So just like that, now I could see it just like that. And if we want to change the font, what we can do is font family. There's a lot of different things you can do. So obviously my code editor shows I can choose all of these. I'm going to do Arial and Helvetica as a secondary. Arial is a nice looking font, so I'm going to do that. And you can see it changes the font when I refresh the page. Whenever, by the way, I don't even think I explained this, but whenever you make a change to your file, if you don't save it and refresh it, nothing's obviously going to happen. You have to write your changes. So I'm Control-S-ing here. That saves it, or you could go here, save it. I'm going to go over here, refresh it, and my changes get kind of shown. So that's pretty nice. You can see that this becomes painful, especially when you see websites like Google show you like this is a nice looking website, but man, it's hard to style. Like it just took us a little bit just to make this look like somewhat feasible, but there's still like some scaling issues. I'm sure if we I can't really show you right now just because how this website has nothing, but it gets a lot of it takes a lot of time. So I'm going to create a new file here. I'm going to do index, or I'll just call it like what do I call it? So I'll just call this external.html. Yeah, I guess we'll just call it that for now. So you can see how annoying it is to manually style things. I don't want to do that, but we will. There's another way of doing this. If you want it to look nice, you save a lot of time. There are these things called CSS frameworks. So CSS frameworks kind of have a lot of it's like pre-written CSS code that you just need to learn how to use. So my favorite, what I've used before and what I've used for many years, back when I used to actually use HTML, is Bootstrap. It's one of the easiest to pick up. It's one of the most functional. Getbootstrap.com tells you how to do all this. Let me turn off Dark Vader. Okay, it's a very nice framework. You can look. They have the same boilerplate code, but you can see a lot of they have examples, and it's very easy to implement stuff like this, like sidebars, drop downs, and you write little to no CSS. So we could completely avoid doing this while making it look really nice. So let's do that. So this is what I'm gonna use. It's really nice. They have it set up. Let me find it, get started. I want to see if they have like because I don't want to actually, let's see. Let me go back here. Let's see. I thought they used to have this section where you could just copy like a really simple hello world. I guess we can just take this. So I'll send this link here. I'll tell you what to copy. I sent it in the Zoom chat. But pretty much we're gonna copy this. So I'm gonna press copy to clipboard. So this right here. And why I'm copying this is because here they have a lot of the similar code. They just have a meta tag, a couple meta tags, which are just like properties like this scales better on like this property right here pretty much just makes it easier to scale on mobile devices. And this just makes the char set standard UTF-8. What this is, link href, whatever all of this stuff is pretty much the library, the Bootstrap CSS library. So I've totally forgot to show you guys how to actually, one second, I'm going to open this, and I totally forgot to show how we make other files. Let me see. So to actually, let's say we were to put this, because ideally you'd never want to embed your CSS code directly in your header. You want to put it standalone. So I'm going to create a new file called style.css, and I'm just going to take all that. I'm going to Control X, cut it and paste it in here. And you know, the style should go away. If I save it here, it's gone. So how do we link this style.css to this index.html? It's pretty easy. You go to your head tag and link it. So there's a link elements, and then rel is equal to style sheet. I don't know what rel means, so don't ask me, but you just need to do it like this, style sheet, and then href. This is the most important thing. This is the actual reference. The file that you're doing, style.css, and it's style.css because they're in the same directory, so I can refer to it just like this, and it would work. So if I were to save it, you can see it's back there. You can see that it actually asks for it right here. So if I were to, you don't have to do this, I'm just showing you. So you can see if I refresh it, there's a style.css that gets requested from the head tag to my to the developer console through the network. It makes a request to get this file, and you can see it actually gets this file. It's not really a formal request just because I'm using the file protocol, just because this is a local file. It says you're viewing a local or shared file, so it's not a traditional request, and you'll know what a traditional request is once we get into the actual dynamic programming once we do that. But you can see now we've linked our style thing. So I was going to go back now I can go back to what I was saying. So over here, these link tags have pre-written CSS. So if I were to open this CSS up, you can see what is all this. It doesn't matter. They did it for you. All you got to do is just copy paste. So copy it. Again, I think I already sent it in there. Our meta tags, like attributes of the website, yes, they are. They're like properties that the browser, not just the browser, but any client who requests takes that and does what it needs with it. They are like attributes. They're like properties, predefined properties of the website. So you can see an external.html. I've just copied over all that. Let me see. You can include popper. I don't care about popper. I don't even know what popper is. Don't really care. Doesn't matter. Okay, but this is what we need. So just copy this, and you've successfully installed Bootstrap to your new file. So I didn't want to change my index.html just because this is our raw one. So on the top here, I'll just make a comment. That's not how you make a comment. But to make a comment in HTML, you just do like less than, I think it's like this, exclamation point, hyphen, hyphen. Yeah, just like that. And then how to close a comment. There we go. So it's just two hyphens and an arrow. And then anything between this is our comments. Like this is a comment. And then I'll just get rid of that. So this, I'll just say this file is our, this is our raw or from, or I don't know. This is our what is this file? This is our from scratch website. Don't know why it took me that long to figure that out, but okay. And then this one is our like Bootstrap website. So Bootstrap CSS website. And I'm just putting this just for reference. It's a good practice to put comments in your code, even though it's HTML. But yeah, so if I were to open this file up, so I'm going to go back to my website here, right click, open with Chrome. You can do that. I don't want to open up in the same tab. I'll just drag that here. You can see hello world. You might not know if it works, but I can tell it works just because this is their like trademark font. You can check in the console too if there's any errors. Yeah, it's good. So let's actually get started on making a website with Bootstrap. So the really nice thing about Bootstrap, since we have it installed, just taking this code, we can use all of their stuff now. So if I were to go to their docs, again, I sent this website. If I press docs here, man, they changed their website, so I'm gonna have to look. So you can see they have a ton of like stuff you could use. Trying to see, they completely changed this website, but it's also been like a couple of years since I've used Bootstrap. So yeah, so essentially you always want to start off with a container. What a container is well, it says it right here. It's a fundamental building block of Bootstrap that contain pad and align and content given device or viewport within a given device or viewport. So it says to here to create a container, you just have a div with a class equal to container. So what a div is pretty much just like a, I guess you can put anything you want. It's a little open ended, but usually you use it to separate parts of your website with. So another neat trick with Bootstrap, I'll try to make this side by side, just like that. So neat thing you could do with VS Code is if you do div dot container, it does this. So it puts a class container. You also do another thing, div hash container, and it'll put it like it'll give it an ID, but we don't need to do IDs. We'll do IDs. What IDs are for, like if I were to give this an attribute of like or attribute of ID with the value of hey, in our JavaScript code, we can essentially refer to this exact container and dynamically set the data in here through our code. We'll get to that later, probably not today, but yeah. So div class container. So what a class is how it works within Bootstrap and many other CSS frameworks. They pretty much have all their all of their styling organized within a class, within separate classes. So they have, you could see dot container. Remember, that's like what I just did, div. Like I can do div dot container. I can do like p dot container. That wouldn't make sense, but I'm just saying this is where that comes from. Anything like dot something that refers to the class within this context, of course. So so like I was saying, all of Bootstrap, every other CSS framework, they kind of organize their style properties within a class. So this class container, all the code or all the styling for container is wrapped within like within the CSS somewhere. But whenever you call class of container, it's already written in the CSS, like that weird thing that I just showed you. Like somewhere, if I were to search up container, again, this might not make sense just because how they've kind of compiled or compressed it, but you could see they have container defined here in their CSS code, just like how we have body style code. Like if we wanted to, we can have our own container code, and we could say like color is red, and that'll be red text color. And that would be over here. Oh, hold on, I can just do this real quick. So I'll just do div dot container, and then anything in here will have red text. So I'll say like hello world. And you can see that text is red. And so I hope that makes sense now. So they have like Bootstrap, when they wrote this, when they kind of made their thing, it's already like pre-written within their framework. So that should make sense, hopefully. So what I'm going to do here, go back to external. So anything in here is organized content. So I'm going to move this. Oops, did not mean to do that. I'm going to screw something up here. Go back here. I'm going to move this down. So you can see if I were to refresh our page now, I need a better way to show this, but this is it, right? Yeah, so you can see now it's kind of moved over a bit. That's a good thing because now it's inside of a container, it's aligned. So there's this thing in Bootstrap called, I don't know if they still have it, pagination. They still do. Okay, let's see. It seems like they've removed it, but trying to just see if they have it. No, it was not called pagination. It's called Jumbotron. Yes. So did they remove this too? Yeah, but pretty much all it is like this very off-white box. It kind of makes it nice. This is a horrible example, but what we can do is we can inspect, right-click, inspect element, and look how they did it. So they have a container here. So this is the example made by Bootstrap and their team. So they have a container here, and they have a fluid container, which is something else. And I don't know what PY5 is, probably some sort of aligning thing. But pretty much, let's see. I'm just trying to see how they did it. Looking for Jumbotron. Oh, I think this is custom. You can see if I click on something here in the developer tools, you could see the styling apply directly. Kind of like if I were to show you like our website that we just made, or this website, a custom one, you could see, or I guess we can't see style. Oh, this sucks. Hold on. Yeah, you could see right here, container has a property of red. This just zoomed out incredibly. Hold on. Okay, well, that's what happens when we are dealing with one screen here. It's so small, but if I were to uncheck it, you could see that it's so small. I'm sorry. You can see that it goes to white, goes back, and this is referred to style.css, just like that. Just again to recap, but let's see. I'm just trying to show how the thing works. I guess I can't use that example because they changed it, but let's look at something we can use. Let's see. I guess we can do like I don't know if you guys look through this, you want to implement something, let me know. I'm just trying to look for something. I don't know what I'm going to put on this website. So I guess we could start off with a nav bar. So what a nav bar is like pretty much, you see how this purple bar on the top that's like it's sort of stuck on the top of our screen. We can do that. So you can see right here they have a code for that, and that'd be nav with the class of nav bar. Sorry, I have not been looking at messages. Sorry. Yeah, command. Let me try that. I'm on keyboard, but yeah, that's weird how mine does like that. It's like React, but whatever. So let's implement a nav bar. So I'm gonna go to my external.html, and you can see hello world. So in our container, I'm gonna do let's see here. I'm just gonna copy this, I guess, and we can go from there. So if I were to copy paste it, you could see that we have a nav bar now, and it also, so let's break this down now. So within the nav bar, we gave it a background. Again, I don't really know exactly, but we gave this from I'm just looking from what it looks like. It looks like they gave a background light. Let's do a background dark. I don't even know if that works, but yeah, I guess it does. I don't really like how that looks though. I'll keep it that. And you can see that there's another container with is fine. You can nest your containers. That's totally fine. You just gotta be careful when you do it a lot, but it's fine for this example. You can see inside of this container fluid, they have an A tag. In case you don't know what that is a like a hyperlink tag. And so the href attribute within this A tag go somewhere. So a hash just means like a dead link. It doesn't do anything. Like if I were to press this, it does nothing. It just puts my thing to hash. It doesn't matter. But if I want to, I could make this go to like https://google.com. I'm going to save it, refresh it. If I were to, you can see if I hover over, you can see google.com. If I press it, it'll bring me there. So that's how an a tag works with the href property. And then this class navbar brand, let's see what that does if I just get rid of it. You can see the styling just disappears like it's nothing. Really sad. But yeah, that's why we need the classes when we're dealing with CSS frameworks like Bootstrap. So we have a navbar here. Let's see what else we can add. We can add a logo too if we want to. I'm probably not going to do that. You can see you could have like lists. So I'm sure that compresses too, right? Yeah, they have it like if you were to make it larger, it goes like that. You can see if it, that's pretty nice actually. I guess we can do that instead. So again, it's really easy. We can just copy paste the examples and change it to our liking. So I'm going to replace our current nav code with what this has. And you can see it quickly gets convoluted like really quickly. So I'm going to make sure I have comments here. Does this work? No, it does not. Okay, so my thing is just screwed up. So comments, again, I have to manually do it just like this, exclamation point, 2 hyphens, and then 2 hyphens, and then another greater than symbol. And in here, I'm going to say nav bar start, just like that. And I'm going to go to the end of the nav bar. So this is the code I just pasted in. And I can tell it's the end because the nav is the closing tag from up here. So all of this is its children. I'm going to paste in here nav bar end. So I can see it. And you can see if I were to refresh it, we have this kind of really nice setup here. You can see it's all open. And then if I were to make it smaller, it compresses. So let me make this a lot more. So if I were to, how I'm doing this, how I open up this thing, Control-Shift-I, or I guess on Mac it's Command-Shift-I, or you could just do right-click and inspect. And up here, you can change your, this is good for like front-end web developers. You can change your screen size. So if I want to have the same screen, what's it called, as like an iPhone SE, then that's it, like just like that. So if I were to open this website on an iPhone SE, that's exactly how it would look like. You can see that it by default, it's compressed, like the nav bar is compressed and all my stuff is open like that. I like to go on responsive because you can change it and you could really see when there are the breakpoints get kind of applied. It's pretty nice. So that's a pretty nice start. We can work from this. So I'm going to change some of this stuff. So what we're going to do is, I guess I can leave this open here. Where did it go? Yeah, so I'll just put this on the side and move this over. Okay, so let's change, I'm going to change this. So to change like the nav bar, again, I don't know if you guys did this before. I remember in middle school, we would just like go on like websites and change like whatever we wanted and pretend like we hacked the website. And we did that just by going and inspect elements, like just going right click, inspect element. And then we went in here and changed like something to say like hey guys, it's me. And it would be like, what? How do you do that? You hacked it. But yeah, so yeah, exactly. You just change your grades. Hey man, if it works, it works. But yeah, so we're gonna change it. We're actually gonna change it through here because if I were to refresh it, it goes away. So we're gonna change it here. And to actually tell what you want to change, what I like to do, in case I can't tell already, I think I have a pretty good intuition of what is what, and you should too, because it says it in here, like features, pricing. Obviously, that would refer to that. But in case your code gets messy, you can right-click, inspect elements, and you can see it's hovered over. It just was a.nav bar branch. So that means remember a.nav bar that means a of class navbar, and it already gets referred to here. Remember, I just changed that value. So now I go here. Let me make this, I'll just full screen this for now. So I'm going to change this to like my site. Yeah, it's my site. I'll just do something. You can call it whatever you want. It does not matter. And we'll leave this href hash just because we only have one page. So I'll just leave this a dead link for now. Obviously, we can change in the future. There is a button here. I don't think we want to touch this button, or it actually is over here. I don't want to touch it because you can see it's already kind of set. It's all predefined to make it work, like make like this open and close just like that. So I'm not going to touch it, because if I were to touch it, like let's say I feel like getting rid of some stuff, you can see it's not going to work anymore. So I'm going to keep this the same, not going to touch the button because the button works fine. But I am going to change like the home page, because I only have like home. I guess we can have some links. Like this is like, I don't really know the application to this website. I'm just kind of writing a website with you guys. So I'll just pretend like this is like my personal website, and this will go to my other websites. So I guess this will be like a hub for my website. So I have one website, home. So let's see, I'll just call this like, yeah, home. So my home website, I can https://zavaar.net. If you have like a portfolio, you could link it here. I'm just giving you an example. Like this is my personal website, at least my personal like web server. There's another website I have, and I guess this can be my portfolio. And then I'll give this https://info.zavaar.net. That's just my portfolio website. Again, you don't have to follow this. I'm just giving you an application to how this could work. I'm going to get rid of this one just because I don't need 3, and you can see it's all repeated. If you want to add more, all you do is copy the list tag. It has to. You can't just copy this right here. You can't just keep doing that, or else it'll look really wonky. If I were to refresh it, yeah, it doesn't even show up. It's just really weird. You have to copy all the code, because this is a nav item, and remember, anything in a class has its own CSS, and so you need to make sure you're following the conventions of the example. So if I were to add like more portfolios, let's say, and save it, yeah, you can see I have like 20 portfolios now. Definitely not 20, but I have a lot more. So I just want one portfolio item, and then this one's disabled. I guess I could say like my private site. Don't ask. I won't have that. But you could see that they have this to where you can't like click it because it has a disabled in it. If I were to get rid of the disabled, it would be clickable, or you can't click on it because there's no href tag. Remember, href, you need to put in something. I'll just make it a dead link, but I'll just show you that you can click it now. But if I were to add disabled here, then boom, just like this. And this is, remember, anything when we're dealing with classes, this is specific to Bootstrap CSS, this website right here. If you were to go in this remember our from scratch website, and if I were to put like p dot disabled, remember that's just class disabled, and I were to type something out here, and I'm getting a lot of windows. Okay, you can see that it doesn't change anything. It doesn't even know what disabled is. Remember, Bootstrap is pre-written that for us, so it would not work for a non-Bootstrap website. So disabled is pre-written, so this will only work on Bootstrap. And I'm assuming there are a lot of other CSS frameworks you can use. I just use Bootstrap because that's what I started with, and I think it's a good start too. There are a lot of other CSS frameworks. You could see Tailwind, Foundation, Bulma, whatever all of these are. They're all very nice. But yes, so you can see, let's see, so where are we at now? That's not it. Let's see. Okay, so this is our website, just kind of a very, very simple website. I guess we can say, like, instead of hello world, we could say like, welcome to my site. Just add like a period there, and let's look at some other things we can do. Any questions, please interrupt. I insist. I'm just kind of looking at stuff to add. Let's see here. What all? Oh, this stuff. I remember this. Let's see here. So they have accordions. So I guess we could do something like this. We could do that, I guess, when we actually get to the dynamic programming. So I guess we could start with that. I don't know. Do you guys? So I was gonna ask, do you guys care if we continue the project, because the main purpose of the project is to build a website, a dynamic website. So we could continue on with learning Bootstrap CSS, or we can create our own CSS, our own style, and create it from scratch. I just like using Bootstrap just because I don't like CSS. I don't like styling. I like getting into the, I don't really like doing a lot of front end stuff like this. So Bootstrap just kind of saves a lot of time, and it makes it look really nice in the exam. It's well documented. But if you guys want, we could do this from scratch completely if you want, using our own style. I guess I could make a poll later on. Yeah, Bootstrap is cool. Yeah. Well, there's a difference. I think Bootstrap and Bootstrap CSS are like different things. I'm not sure, but yeah, Bootstrap is nice. It is a very nice, highly recommend it. So I guess for the sake of this example, I could use Bootstrap. If you want, I have a separate version, or I have some pre-written code that I can just copy this, and this is something that I made. I guess I whipped together like I think like a week ago, and I was just looking. Hold on. Yeah. So 1 second. Okay. So I'll just show you. So I just copied this because I pre-wrote this a long time ago, like 1 week ago, and pretty much this is the style, or I mean, this is like from scratch what I have. So you can see that a lot of it is, you can see there's a class of section. And if I look in the CSS, I have a dot section here. And all of this is very similar to Bootstrap. It's just, obviously it's completely custom. And I can show you what it looks like. If I go here, refresh it. This is what my website looks like. And again, I don't have the JavaScript, but eventually what we're going to build is something like taking stuff from the website, or from the web, like taking data from the web. So I had, I found this cat fact API, and I was able to, obviously it says loading because I don't have any of the, I just copied and pasted the HTML and the, what's it called? The CSS. I didn't do the JavaScript. So it looks really basic, but again, this is fully custom. So that's as good as it gets. And I'm no designer, so, don't ask me, but pretty much that's what it looks like. And you'll see, like, we'll give this functionality. If I were to, if I were to open it up, it says some errors just because in the index.html, I have some on click. I use some JavaScript here, but eventually, since we're almost out of time, this is a 1 hour meeting. Eventually we're going to have some code that looks like this, and don't be intimidated. What we're doing here is, I'm not going to get into it today. I'm just going to show you what we're doing is we're getting stuff from the website, or from the web. Like this website right here gets a cat fact. If I were to open it up, you could see it has this weird kind of weird text going on here, but we're able to parse it and then send it back to our client. And eventually we're going to have that set up. I think we're going to use Bootstrap just because everyone seems to like Bootstrap. And I hate CSS. A lot of people do, and it's ultimately a time saver. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. I guess we got our foundation down. I guess the plan for next time, we're going to use the accordion because in accordion we could hide, or not hide, but we can store some stuff. And you can see in here accordion body. So accordion item 1, you could see inside of the accordion body, like this is that stuff that is this right here. So we can essentially set later on like what's inside of here with our JavaScript from the internet, like when we get our API calls set up. And yeah, so that might have not made any sense, but it will next week or whenever we get to that. But I think we'll go on, continue with Bootstrap. If you want, I'll upload all this code to GitHub and send it in the group or in the Discord and refer to it from there. But pretty much that's all we had so far. So what we got done today, I guess let's do a recap. We got Bootstrap set up. Yeah, Bootstrap is completely set up. So this is the Bootstrap demo. I'm going to change this. I never changed the title, so I'll just call this my websites. Dynamic sites. You see it changes up here. And what we did today, again, let's recap. We got Bootstrap set up in this external.html, which I will change to index.html because I guess we're not going to use this, the raw kind of code, like from scratch code. And yeah, we set this up. We got our nav bar set up, which we copied from their example and we changed it to our liking. And we set some custom stuff, like we set this home nav item to like my website per se. So this will go to my website. And we also set up another nav item that goes to my portfolio. Again, you could do the same thing for yourself. So yeah, that's my portfolio. And you could do anything with that. It's pretty nice. Bootstrap is nice. I'm not sponsored by Bootstrap. That's all I have to say. So any questions? I think we could end this, I guess, a little early. I mean, I want to keep some time for questions because those are important. But I think this is a good stop for today in case any of you are overwhelmed. Yeah, not sponsored yet. But any questions, please throw them at me. I'll be here. Because we're out of time. Well, not really, but I'm keeping this for any questions if you have any. If not, I guess we can end. I wonder if that's how this looks like. Okay, never mind. All right, whatever. Are there any other frameworks you suggest? Yes, there are a lot of other ones. For HTML, Bootstrap is what I used. I remember like years ago, Materialize. I think they still have it. CSS. It looks like it looks old, but I remember I used this and I thought it was like really awesome. I'm trying to show you an example. Materialize CSS. It looks like old Google, I guess. Like this, I guess. I don't know if there's, yeah, like this. This is Materialize CSS. Yeah, there's some other, like for my portfolio, I used Material UI for React. So React is completely different than HTML. I didn't use HTML, but React is really nice because it's very well documented. But yeah, Materialize CSS, Tailwind. I heard okay, you used Tailwind. And I guess that's good too. I've never actually used it, or I've never seen Tailwind. At the end of this project, are you going to, yeah, Flutter is good too. At the end of this project, are you aiming for us all to create the same? Yeah, that's the thing. If you want to diverge, like, be my guest, like, creativity, like, do it. If you want, that's totally fine. If you want to follow along, you want to learn, and then maybe change it later, that's also fine. I don't really care. This is open-ended. It's just, make sure you keep yourself in check. I don't want you to go out with anything, not learning anything, but please, I encourage the creativity. If you want to diverge, please do it. Just, don't get lost, because you can get lost very quickly. And please, yeah, at the end, we can definitely show off everyone's project. And yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, any other questions? Any feedback? I'm pretty new to this stuff. Well, new to like explaining myself.
Zavaar, you're killing it.
yeah,
You're
if
killing
I
it.
glance over anything, or if I say something that makes no sense, that's a habit of mine. That's something that I have a problem that I need to address. Like last semester, my rest or my the API workshop that I did last semester, it was way too difficult. I ended up making let me go to I ended up making a that's not where I want to go, a 2 hour video for something that was supposed to be 25 minutes long. This project right here, I made it into a 2 hour video just because I thought I could glance it over in 25 minutes. But you can see we use HTML in this project too. We eventually create a messenger app, like you can send your messages. And this uses Bootstrap too, by the way. Fun fact, I totally forgot. I guess I did use Bootstrap in the past couple months, but we actually create the backend from scratch, and we also create the front end later on right here. This is JavaScript. You can see it's Bootstrap once. Let's see, actually, yeah, user interface. Yeah, this is all Bootstrap. So yeah.
That was really cool. Zavaar, I did have one question though. With that nav bar that you pulled up,
My
I really like
headphone's
that
dead?
design.
Oh my God, I just realized. Hold on. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, hello?
Have I just been talking over you this entire time?
No, I just started talking.
Oh my God. All right. My headphones just automatically turned off and I thought everyone was being quiet. I don't know if anyone said anything. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
No, I think everybody was in the chat. I just turned it on right now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about
But
that. Yeah.
I had a question about the nav bar that you implemented onto your website. I was trying to look on Bootstrap, but I couldn't find the doc or the code for that one.
Which one?
Like the one with the drop down at the top that you put into your external.html.
This one?
Yeah.
So it's like this, right?
Yeah.
So it automatically gets if the screen is small, yeah. That's the really nice thing about this, is that it's already like mobile friendly. So
That's
again,
making
yeah,
it responsive is like the worst part of making a website.
exactly, yeah.
What's your
thank you.
URL for your portfolio?
Here, I'll send it. It's info.zavaar.net. And yeah, it's a little bloated. I added way too much stuff in there. I spent too much time on that this summer, but it's
no, it looks great.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on that. But yeah, it was completely so that this website, my portfolio, I wrote this in React, not HTML, so it's a lot more. I don't know if we've ever done a React workshop, but React is a lot better. You can do so much more with it. Spending less time on the HTML and the structure, it's a lot more compartmentalized. It's a lot nicer to make things. Because this is, you can see right here, we did like just this, and it's already taken up like this much code. Like telling you, I think we could reduce this by like 80% if this was written in React. But this is not a React. We'd have to set up Node. We have to set up, the setup's a little painful. And this is a good starter, like to get your feet wet with front end design. So yeah, so we're just gonna be sticking to HTML. But yeah, anything else? Anyone? We could, yeah, anything else? Please let me know. And I guess we could call it a day. All right. So I guess the next time we'll meet will be on the 15th, same time. Mark your calendars, September 8th, September 15th at 8:30. And I guess next time we'll start with actually writing the code to connect to use API. So I'll give a quick lesson on what an API is, because I know I've been throwing that word around a lot, and maybe you have no idea. We can do a quick recap on what an API is and how we use it to take data and display it on our website. And yeah, thank you guys, appreciate it. I guess no one has any questions, we could call it a day.
Thanks, Zavaar. Appreciate it,
you.
man. Have a good one.
You too. See you guys. Take care.